She is visiting our club for the first time.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm visiting.
Hello,
Great.
Toastmaster Gautami.
Hi.
Okay.
Shall we start?
Yes, please start. She is visiting our.
So, Master, are we all ready to set up and go?
Yeah, please start.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Showstoppers meeting. A quick check. Murphy's Law. Internet keeps going wonky for everybody when I'm presenting. Can you hear me and see me? Thumbs up will do. Okay, so at least I know the audience is awake. Excellent. All right, I'm going to quickly jump into my screen saving mode to show that I know how to use Zoom. Where is it gone? There it is. Okie dokie. Presentation mode on. So welcome everyone to the Showstoppers Toastmasters Club. It's our 74th meeting. Very, very excited. Almost 3/4 of a century there. So today, I am also going to be your Sergeant at Arms. What is the role of a Sergeant at Arms? The Sergeant at Arms is that opening act that gets in there and tries to make sure that everyone's gelled in and all doing well. So if we jump into guesting, so as we're having a speechathon, I thought, as suggested by Amita earlier today, we should have a tongue twister. So I'm going to put up a tongue twister out there, and I would like everyone to give it a shot to try and see if you can do this. All right. Now, I request everyone. I can see the GE reading it already, so I'm going to stop that for a second. No practice. Can I ask everyone to put your mics on, please? It's difficult for me to see everyone on the screen when I'm doing screen sharing. Now, I want everyone on the count of 3 to try and say this out loud as you can. 1, 2, 3.
I slid the sheet.
I slid the sheet.
Okay, couldn't make out. All the ladies in the room, can you say this together? Guys, stay quiet.
I slid the sheet, I slid, and on the slid sheet, I sit.
On the slid sheet, I sit.
Excellent. Can you do it a little faster for us? Come on, you want to do better than the guys. Come on.
I slid the sheet, I slid, and on the slid sheet, I sit.
Excellent, excellent. Now, all the guys in the room, can I request you all to try and say this out, but faster than the ladies in the room?
I slid the sheet.
I slid the sheet, I slid, and on the slid sheet, I sit.
Excellent, guys, but do it together. Come on, 1, 2, 3.
I slid the sheet,
I slid, and on the
on the
slid sheet, I sit.
Excellent, excellent job. I think luckily I'm not the judge, so we'll push it on to the G later and put her on the spot as to who said it best. But for the time being, tongue twisters is a very good methodology for one to keep practicing and pronunciations. I remember my teacher putting me through this during school times, and I could remember the torture, so we thought we might as well share that same feeling with everybody else. So welcome all to our 74th meeting. Moving forward with our club mission. The Toastmaster Club mission is that everybody hands on heart, please. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in a greater confidence, self-confidence, and personal growth. So that's the club mission that we all work and strive towards. We have simple ground rules, all right? We have lots of speakers who have worked very hard, so we encourage everyone to applaud, all right? Please keep your mics switched off and your speakers loud so that you can hear everyone and there's enough silence in the room. As per the laws of this area, we shall avoid talking about sex, politics, and religion. For those who are driving and running late a bit, recommend you please park on the side and join the meeting. Nothing is more important than the safety of all our members and guests. Last but not the least, fire exits. You all know where you are. You all know where the washrooms are. So you know how fast to get to that place. Now, taking on my SAA and putting my presidential speech. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Showstoppers. As the president of the club, on behalf of our whole club, we welcome everyone to our club. Showstoppers Club had commenced almost 3 years ago. We are actually hitting our anniversary and planning something interesting. This, as you know, is our 74th meeting. We work on certain goals. Our goal is to enable our members to be skilled communicators, and during the whole process also teach them to be leadership skills, so ties in with Toastmasters. What do we think are our strong values? It's integrity, respect, and patience. For the benefit of some of the members, in one of my previous meetings, someone asked me, what does integrity mean? Integrity is things that you do when you know no one's watching you. For example, you come driving, you come to a stop sign, middle of the night, no cop around. Do you still stop or do you drive through just because you need to go? So it's the values that you bring in, all right? As Toastmasters, it's a 98-year-old organization, loads and loads of members across the region. Once you become part of Toastmasters, it enables you to join multiple groups and attend multiple meetings at any point of time. You just need to request in. So it's a huge family of public speakers. Toastmasters obviously helps leadership skills and communication skills, and is founded by Dr. Spentley. Toastmasters, when people speak about public speaking, I think people just think about, oh, I have to come and learn to speak and people tell me. No, they do not realize, just like school curriculums, there is a pathway that allows people to follow a certain path with the help of the members and their mentors and everybody else, and they qualify as they go around. There are such 11 specialized paths, and some of the projects I mentioned on the bottom, where it helps you, because these skills are not only about speaking in a Toastmasters meeting or in front of a camera, it's also to be transferable into your work, in your personal relationships and everything else. I'll take a quick few seconds to speak about this. What Toastmasters basically signifies is the most important person in Toastmasters is the member itself, you all. Right? Everything revolves around where and what you want to achieve. The Toastmaster member is supported by a club. Multiple clubs are supported by an area by a division, and so on and on. When I mentioned that approximately 300,000 people around, you can imagine when you're on the top of 300,000 people supporting you on your shoulders, moving you forward. A bit about the Showstoppers. This is our XCOM group. If you all have any queries, any inquiries, please join us and ask any one of us here. I always believe that it's important to show what our mission is. As Showstoppers, we always do believe the following. That we have a responsibility to influence the people in our lives, this is in this case our members and guests, to be the best possible people that they can be. Therefore, encouraging one another and building one another up. It's not about I'm better, you're better, nothing of that nature. Let's work together as a family and get better. That's what it is. Now, before we jump in quickly to our meeting, the real meaty stuff of it, we do have some guests in here. I'm going to quickly invite them on to be able to do a quick round of introductions so that the rest of the members know them. So may I first invite our GE for the evening, Toastmaster Vibha, who has the passion for teaching. So Vibha, could you do a quick round of introductions for the rest of the members, please?
Good evening, everyone. I am Toastmaster Vibha Talati from Carpe Diem Sharjah Toastmasters Club, and it's my first time to be here. I work as a mental health coach and a tour guide. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Moving on to Toastmaster Roji. She's not a new face, but just like Toastmaster Vibha, but it's nice for the rest of the members to know. Can't hear you.
Good evening, dear showstoppers, Toastmasters, and my dear guest. It's always a privilege to be at Showstoppers because it's like family for me. But for the sake of introducing myself once again, I am Toastmaster Roji Satish from Pioneer Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. I'm basically a legal professional and also currently working as academic facilitator from home. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Roji. May I invite Vikas to switch on mic and please tell us about yourself.
Hello, all Toastmasters. Myself, Vikas. I'm working as an IT professional. And this is, as a guest, this is a second meeting I'm attending over here.
Excellent, Vikas. We remember you from the last meeting, so thank you and welcome back.
Thank
May
you.
I call on Toastmaster Gotmi? While we're waiting for Toastmaster Gotmi to connect, can I call on Rosalind, Toastmaster Rosalind? Either I'm having internet connectivity or people are just not, I'm not reaching out to people. What about Toastmaster Arco, Paul?
Hello, good evening all. Am I audible?
Very much audible.
Yeah, I am Arcopal from IEM Toastmasters Club, Division K of District 124. So I have been a part of this Toastmasters from last 1 year, 2 months time and completed one pathway and the level 4 of the second pathway till then. And I have been invited by Toastmaster Sumit Ain to listen to this speech marathon today. And currently I'm pursuing my BTech third year from IEM Kolkata and serving as the PRM of Division K.
Thank you. Thank you so much and welcome on board. Last but not the least, Toastmaster Sumit.
Hi, Toastmaster Dinesh. It is my pleasure to be here with the showstoppers, listening to the great speakers and the evaluators as well. Me, myself, as a trainer working with Wipro for the last 4 years and associated with some reputed organizations like TCS, IBM and Wipro. So being with the Toastmaster, this is going to be 1 year and I'm the VP Education from KORTC and invited by Toastmaster Amita.
Thank you very much. So without further ado, I think we've got a mental health specialist, we've got lawyers, we've got IT, we've got trainers. Welcome on board, everyone. So I'll pass it on quickly to our meeting. It's a speechathon, and to guide us through that whole discussion, I'm going to invite our wonderful MC to come on board, Toastmaster Sri Devi. A big applause for her, please.
Good evening, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I am Toastmaster Sri Devi, your MC for the evening. Though we don't have a theme for the evening, I would be introducing each role player by their first. For the benefit of guests, a Toastmaster meeting is divided into 3 sections, namely prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. To conduct this meeting smoothly, we have our timer, Toastmaster Roshni, our Zoom master, Toastmaster Amita, and our honorable general evaluator, Toastmaster Vibha Talati, who would be evaluating the entire meeting. Now, I call upon the word master of the day, Toastmaster Roshni. She is a doctor by profession, a passionate Toastmaster, a dancer, and an energetic speaker. She says the first app she checks in the morning is Instagram. Welcome, Toastmaster Roshni.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sri Devi. Good evening, everyone. I'm your word master for today. I'll be just sharing a screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
So, so today we will be doing the anti-word of the day. That means we are not supposed to use this word, but instead we can use its synonyms. So today's anti-word of the day is confident. The word confident means having or showing great faith in oneself or one's abilities. It can also mean having or showing a mind free from doubt. So it's synonyms. These are the words which you can use instead of the word confident. Assured or self, you can say self-assured, assertive, or you can say self-assertive, or sanguine. Some of the antonyms of the word confident are doubtful, insecure, uncertain, and unsure. So let me give you some examples from how you can use the synonyms of the word confident. He is sanguine about the company's future. The president of the Showstoppers Club commenced the meeting with an assured attitude. We all need to be more self-asserting in today's society to get what we want. Thank you. So I would now like some volunteers who would like to use some synonyms of the word confident. Okay, I call upon a few names.
Can I go for it?
Yes, yes, Ms. Amita.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I would say applause is a great way to maintain the sanguinity of any club.
Yes, that's Master Amita. That was good. Anyone else? Okay, Toastmaster Sumit.
I'm assertive with this Toastmaster meeting because I'd be learning a lot of things.
Yes, that's a good use. Thank you. Toastmaster Arco. Okay, Toastmaster Dinesh.
I'm assertive that no one's going to use the anti-word today, which is called, what is it? Roshni, what was the anti-word for today? You're not supposed to use that, you're out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, I say sanguine. Do we have any more volunteers? Toastmaster Sridevi.
I could try.
Hi, Sammy.
It's important to be assertive while fighting for the right cause.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Toastmaster Sridevi, please.
I am assertive about my MC role today.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You are a very short speaker. Okay. So thank you. I encourage all of you to use this word. Do not use the word confident and use the other synonyms of the word like assured, assertive, and sanguine. Thank you. Now, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you for the phenomenal anti-word of the day, Toastmaster Roshni. I encourage all speakers to use the synonyms of the word during the meeting. It's now time for the much-awaited speakathon with 4 fabulous speakers, Toastmaster David, Toastmaster Deepansh, Toastmaster Alvin, Toastmaster Utkarsha. The first speaker for today is Toastmaster David. His pathway is team communication. He is doing his level 1, project 3. The title of the speech is Dreams. David says his first job was that of an administrative assistant. Let me now call upon his evaluator, Toastmaster Gautami, who will be reading out his project objectives.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Sure.
Great. So I'm going to be evaluating Toastmaster David's speech today, and he is delivering his speech, writing a speech with a purpose. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the timing for this speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, David. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gautami. The stage is yours, Toastmaster David. Toastmaster David, dreams, Toastmaster David.
Okay, am I going to pin myself on the screen? Because still, yeah, let me see if I can pin myself. Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm audible, I'm visible, and I can see the timer as well. All right, so let's begin. 3, 2, 1, go. Have you all ever had a dream that you worked so hard about, but it just changed? So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to my speech titled Dreams. I'm going to do what everyone does, talk about myself and tell about my dream, my one true dream of becoming a lawyer, really, and how it suddenly changed. It was in 2019. I was working in my gap year and I was excited to go join a university because I really took that year to figure out whether I want to, what I want to do with my life. I was ready to join a university in Dubai initially. I went to the university, all the way to the university. I was at the doorstep, and surprisingly, my father, okay, when he was just about to put the check in with the amount of the initial deposit, he is someone who really did not want to go to India at all or travel abroad. He said, we were right at the doorstep and says, David, you always said you wanted to do law. Do you really want to do university over here? And then a wave of memories just flooded back into me. Of all the times I watched so many legal shows, such as Boston, Better Call Saul, Suits, came in and said, I pictured myself as, I was like, sure, I can just study for the exam, which in India is called the CLAT exam, and go. I can work for a couple more months, get some savings, and then head off to India. So I did my work. I was ready, and I always had it in my mind saying that I'm going to become a lawyer. I always found myself ready, standing in front of the judge and saying that, Your Honor, I rest my case. The jury, you know it's right. I'm there. And making those big, big bucks. I was so excited. And that was my dream. I told everyone, oh, what are you going to do, David? Join law school. Where are you going to go? NLU Bangalore. So I finished mine and I began studying for the exam. It literally, is there an issue? Am I misaudible? Can you guys hear me? Like, can I get a thumbs up? Okay, that's fine. So I was ready to just prepare for my exam, go for it, and do it. But surprisingly, the exam was kind of tough to prepare for. I mean, you had to do maths without a calculator. And I studied in Dubai. We only have calculators here. All right. How am I supposed to prepare for mental maths? And then the concept of negative marking existed. For every wrong answer, you get a minus 0.5. It's better to just leave the question. And I was like, and this was only maths. You had critical thinking, English, law, politics. I was just like, am I going to become a lawyer by studying critical thinking like this? Our SAE of our club, Toastmasters Utkasha, here's a hat to you. You passed it. But it was fun. I was ready to do it. And my exam was on March 17th, 2020. But do you know what else happened in March 2020? COVID! COVID happened and all flights to India were cut. And then here I was with some hope, thinking that maybe I'll go in April, maybe I'll go in May. But do you know what happened? The exam committee of India said, exam postponed, exam postponed, exam postponed. Do you know what happens when you don't have a plan and you put all your eggs in one basket to focus on becoming a lawyer, and then the plan is gone? You really don't have anything left to do. You just go home and be like, Mom, Dad, I have no idea. And that was my life from April, May, June, July, August, 5 months actually. I didn't know what to do and my dream suddenly changed. I had no dream. But when I found out about Westfield University and I could study business, I was like, maybe I can have a new dream. Maybe it's okay to have a new dream. And that dream was to become the best. I'm going to get an opportunity to be the best version of myself in uni and become the face of it. I was going to participate in everything. I was just going to say yes to everything. I wasn't going to let the COVID Zoom era define me. So I worked hard. I was like, let's make my dream possible. The surprising thing is, I didn't tell anyone about my dream this time. I didn't tell anyone. I kept it to myself that I was going to be the best. And that was my dream. So on August 24th, 2020, I joined Westfield University. And today, which is the 6th of November, 2022, my last year at college, I feel like I have kind of achieved that dream because I became the president of the university. I work in the division at Toastmasters. I've won division contests at speaking, something I'm very passionate about. And I realized this key important thing. And I think many of you can relate. Dreams change. But do you know what does? You know what you're in charge of? Yourself. And the fact that if you can keep your mind ready, okay, saying that it's okay if the dream doesn't work out, you would be fine. So my fellow Toastmasters, the one key takeaway I'm telling you to take from this 22-year-old whose dream of becoming a lawyer transformed into becoming a speaker, do it. It's fine. Everyone goes through this change. You will do amazing. So that's my speech, guys. Over to you, MC.
What an engaging speech, David.
Thank you. Where is this movement? Yeah.
Now, considering the need for Toastmaster Gautami to leave early, I informed the GE and the audience that Toastmaster Gautami would be presenting her evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Gautami.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Well, David, in case I was your student, I think I would have had a time of my life listening to all these inspiring stories that you have. And as a 22-year-old, I am really glad to see how far you have come, even with so many difficulties. I would like to commend you first on the use of your body language. I think I have not seen such open body language in a very long time, and you have utilized the space very well. Secondly, vocal variety. Again, I haven't actually experienced such a vocal variety in a very long time, which makes me say that these two should be your assets. I am glad that you mentioned that you are a division level winner, and it can be seen in the way you are delivering a performance. Your content was very beautifully written, although uh, even if the speech was very beautifully written and delivered, I think there are some areas wherein you could improve to make sure that your performance is enhanced the next time. The first one would be the fact that whenever you're setting up your camera, your hands are going out of the frame multiple times. For this, you could make a practice session, a video of yourself when you're delivering the speech, and make markings on the floor so that you don't go beyond a certain point or ahead of a certain point. Secondly, the internet connection. I believe everyone could notice that there was a certain lag and a disturbance in the initial part of your speech, which made it really difficult for us to connect with it. But in case there was a better internet connection at your place or at your disposal, we would have connected with the opening. I think that takes away a lot of X factor from your speech when your opening is missed. Lastly, I think that whenever you are speaking about another country, per se, for example, when you said that you are the exams and then you wanted to go to India about it, and then there was this critical thinking, negative marking. So I would say that you first establish what is the scenario at your place when it comes to examination and marks calculation, and then just give it a very humorous turn and say that this is exactly opposite of what I have been raised with, which might just give you that punch of humor that you were intending to add over there. All in all, I am again going to say the best use of body language and vocal variety that I have seen. These are the two areas where most people fail. And I think I am one of those people who cannot deliver a good vocal variety. So I can appreciate when I see a good one. And I think you have mastered that art. Make really good use of it. And I'm 100% sure that even this time in your contest, I don't know what your contest speech is, but if you're going to be participating and if you're going to deliver it in this style, I have no doubt that you will definitely make it to the top two. Thank you so much for this really lovely speech. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much for a detailed evaluation, Toastmaster Gautami. Now I call upon second speaker, Toastmaster Deepansh, who is presenting his Level 2 Project 2. His pathway is Innovative Planning. The title of the speech is Get Your Sweat On. Toastmaster Deepansh says his first celebrity crush was actress Kajol. Great choice, Deepansh. Now I invite his evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Roji, to read out the project objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi. Once again, good evening, respected fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My target speaker, Toastmaster Deepansh, is attempting his Level 2 Project 2 speech from Pathways, Innovative Planning. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. And towards achieving this purpose, he has to introduce either a new or an unfamiliar topic to his club members. His speech title, as said by Toastmaster Sridevi, it's Get Your Sweat On. The timing for the speech is around 5 to 7 minutes. I wish Toastmaster Deepansh all the very best. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Good evening, Toastmasters. There's a saying, you don't have to be extreme, but you just need to be consistent. This being the month of Dubai Fitness Challenge, wherein His Highness Sheikh Hamadan has encouraged every resident in the UAE to exercise for a minimum of 30 minutes for 30 days during the month, so that we can build better and healthier habits. Please raise hands if you work out on a regular basis. Now, if you don't work out on a regular basis, here's why you need to. As per WHO, Adults between the age of 18 and 64 need to work out for minimum of 150 minutes per week, doing a moderate intensity aerobic exercise. And if they do not have time for that, then they should do a minimum of 75 minutes of intense and vigorous cardio or aerobic exercise to replace their moderate exercise. Along with this, they should also do weight training or any kind of resistance training like yoga or body weight training 2 to 3 times a week that focuses the entire body. I personally prefer doing high intense interval training, which engages core, muscles, and also gives you a bit of cardio effect 2 to 3 times a week for about 20 minutes each session. But why should we exercise? I mean, we are so busy and there's a lot going on in our life. Well, me being an Indian, I've heard a lot of times people talk about having diabetes and blood pressure, and they say that we have diabetes and blood pressure because of our genes. Well, it's not because of the genes. As per a research from Reuters Medical, only 5 to 10% of our chronic diseases like heart issues or anything of that sort is due to the genes. Rest of all, it is all because of the sedentary lifestyle that we are living. Some of the main culprits of these chronic diseases include lack of exercise, then sedentary lifestyle wherein we are not moving enough, less sunlight, poor diet, and not resting enough. That is sleeping for 7 to 8 minutes, 7 to 8 hours per night. I believe that this pattern of unhealthy lifestyle did not start when we became adults. It started much earlier. It started when we were in school. It started where we were pressurized to complete our homeworks, assignments, work till the night. We were barely given like half an hour of PE per week, where we would play our favorite sports. Other than that, our instructors, like the PE instructors, barely taught us any of the yoga moves or jogging, or they didn't encourage us to run or do any sort of body weight exercises. As I was growing older after school, what I felt was that I was getting lazy and I wasn't active enough. So, in order to be active, I started looking for different options. So, I initially started jogging. After that, I started doing a bit of weight training, wherein I joined a gym. So, I was doing something or the other. The best thing that I found in the end was there's an app. There are actually multiple apps. One of them is called the 7-minute workout. So a 7-minute workout is a workout wherein you work out for 30 seconds and then you rest for 30 seconds. There are around 15 exercises in that. You complete that 7-minute workout within 7 minutes and you repeat 2 to 3 more circuits of it. So that, I mean, it depends on your level of fitness, but I prefer 3 to 4 more circuits of it. And this also helps you get a bit of endorphin in your mind and you feel freshened up. You also get VO2 max, which is like an oxygen that helps functioning your lungs and your heart in a much better way. So this is what I feel works the best for me. Something else might work the best for you guys. Maybe yoga, maybe CrossFit, maybe Pilates, maybe swimming, cycling, anything. But there is definitely something, and you guys need to work on it. Maybe just walking. The whole point here is that start from somewhere. Do at least 30 minutes of exercises 5 to 6 times a week. And build healthy nutritional habits. When you're eating enough of those dark green vegetables, you're eating some fruits, getting enough proteins like eggs, or fish or chicken, and if you guys are vegetarian, then maybe some Greek yogurt. So yeah, In the end, I will say that you guys need to commit. Don't waste time on being half-heartedly committed, and find a goal. Set your mind to achieve that goal and start prioritizing your health and fitness. Because if we spread this message enough, then instead of wasting time and money on medical payments or doctors, we would be investing in our own health, which is much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepansh. Now, I welcome the next speaker, Toastmaster Alvin, who is attempting his Level 1 Project 3. His pathway is Leadership Development. The title of his speech is Expectation versus Reality. Toastmaster Alvin says his first celebrity crush was Hema Malini. Let me now invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Kazi, to read out the objectives of his speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. My target speaker, Toastmaster Alvin, attempting his Level 1 Project 3 speech. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. And the length of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. With this, I would first of all wish you luck and all the best, Toastmaster Alvin. And over to you, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kasi. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Alvin. Toastmaster Alvin, expectation versus reality. Expectation versus reality, Toastmaster Alvin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Alvin Tangachin. I'm from Bangalore in India. And today I'm going to speak on a topic which is expectations versus reality. Okay. We all have expectations in life. Okay. And then we all face sometimes a certain thing which is reality. Right? So I'd like to speak on these two particular points. So when I speak of expectations, what are expectations? Expectations an expectation is something where you think which is going to happen, right? Something where you think this is going to be the possible outcome of this event. Or it's a vision that we have in our mind, something that we think in our mind that this thing will play out in this particular fashion, right? But that's expectation. But what actually transpires is reality. Okay, you could have a plan, have an expectation, but what transpires is reality. And sometimes the disparity between your expectation and your reality can be big, which can sometimes get a few people discontent, disheartened, unhappy, right? So the whole purpose of our lives is on how we enjoy our lives without having to be discontent and unhappy about few things that we falsely expected in our lives. Okay, let me give you a few examples of expectations, and I'll speak about it from my own personal life. The first thing is, while I was in college, finishing my days of engineering, I was doing relatively well with my academics. I was doing well in my sports. I was part of the college football team. I also played cricket for college. And when you're doing all these well, what typically comes across me to each individual? You think you're the man. You think you're the dude, right? But as college finished and you're back in real world and I'm looking for a job, and that's when the Y2K hit, the year 2000, there were no jobs. The realization hit me then, saying that you're no longer the dude you thought you are, right? Your life of college is over, you're out facing life, and that could actually break you completely, right? And for me, that realization then of facing the reality, then saying that I'm no longer what I thought I was, it taught me to humble myself, be more grounded, and taught me to go back to the drawing board again and to say, now, what are the things I'm going to do to start my life and my career? Because it had not taken off anywhere. And all it had taken off was in my mind, and which was in the wrong direction. Right? So that's one example. Another example, again, is from our everyday lives between husbands and wives. Right? Most often than not, for a married couple, you're always expecting your partner to respond in a particular way that will make you happy. Right? We all think, for me, I think my wife is going to do A, B, C, which is going to make me extremely happy. But the fact of the matter remains that all are individuals with themselves. They're not necessary that every time they will respond in an exact fashion that you want. They can respond totally different, right? And now here, another learning that I had in my life is starting to accept. One, you're starting to accept and understanding your other partner on that, and leaving that expectation and starting to accept the person as an individual. Right? Another example for me in terms of expectation and reality is we're in the festive season, right? We're approaching a festive season, and typically in my mind, each time when I think of Christmas, it's always being back home in Bangalore with my parents, with my brother, sister, all our families. We're baking up cookies and cakes, and we're having a nice time. But the years of pandemic taught us that we can't do that. So now what else can you do? I mean, are you going to be disheartened? Are you going to be unhappy? Or are you going to find still ways of communicating and being happy during the time that you're still blessed, that you're alive in the pandemic, and you're still able to correspond with your parents over Zoom, your family over Zoom, and you're still having your fairly decent Christmas time, even though you're being away from each other, right? So expectations in life are good. It's not bad. But when your expectations are not met, how are you going to respond to it is what makes you a person, right? It's important for us to first become aware of our expectations. You cannot have an absolute untoward expectation. I cannot be 110 kilos and expect that the next month I'm going to be 65 kilos, right? That's an absolutely wrong expectation. For me, I to have a more realistic expectation of losing 5 kilos a month, right? So one is to become aware of your expectation. And the next one is to practice gratitude. If sometimes things don't work the way you want, what you realize is you have to just look back and see what are the other things that you're blessed with. You don't necessarily have, even though you didn't get one, you realize that all the other things you're blessed with is grace in itself, right? So you start practicing gratitude. Third, you don't compare. You're an individual. Enjoy your life the way you're blessed with. Stop comparing and be happy yourself. And lastly, practice emotional acceptance. For me, when I say emotional acceptance, what I'm trying to say is, we are individuals. We can sometimes get angry. We can also get jealous. It's for us to know what our emotions are. Once you've accepted your own emotion, you know how to work on it. But to run away from your own emotion or to not accept it will not help you change. So the other thing is, I would obviously tell everyone is to practice emotional acceptance. Right? With this, I'd like to conclude. I'd like to conclude by saying it's great to have expectations. It's great to have a plan, okay? But if it doesn't meet, you have to face reality. And in facing reality, you have a lot of things that you can learn, and which is going to help you as individuals to grow and be more successful in life. With this, I conclude. Over to you, TM Sridevi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alvin. Now, help me welcome our next speaker, our exuberant Sergeant-at-Arms, Toastmaster Utkarsha, who's our fourth speaker for the evening. She's a lawyer by profession. Her path is engaging humor, is attempting her Level 2 Project 1, titled A Bit Short. I invite her evaluator Toastmaster Sumit to read out the project objectives. Toastmaster Sumit.
Hello, showstoppers. My speaker, Utkarsha, would be giving her level 2, project 1, know your sense of humor from the pathway engaging humor. Our speech title is A Bit Short. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
The stage is yours, Toastmaster Utkarsha. Toastmaster Utkarsha, a bit short, Toastmaster Utkarsha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi. Few years ago, I had a big crush on a boy from my college. He was smart, I was dumb. He was tall, I was short. He was handsome, I was not. But since opposite attract, at least I thought we were a match made in heaven. Every time I saw him, I could hear music playing in the background. I would be the Shah Rukh Khan and he would be my Sushmita Sen, and violins were playing in the background. Every time he looked at me, I smiled. My heart stopped beating. Every time he spoke something, I could hear nothing. I was truly madly in love, but there was only one problem. I didn't have guts to tell him that. After 2 years of being constantly taunted and jeered at by my friends, हाँ, सर, एक मिनट। सर, हाँ, नहीं, मेरी बस एक मीटिंग चल रही है, मैंने उधर उनसे पूछा था बस 2 मिनट। After 2 years of being constantly taunted and jeered at by my friends, I gathered some courage to meet him on his birthday. I kneeled down and looked into his eyes and said, "Will you be my friend?" Yes, I didn't propose him, I just asked for a friendship. He said, "Utkarsha, even though I loved you too, but I hate you for taking so long. I've just got engaged." Ouch, I felt a bit shocked. Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, have you ever been fallen short? Speaking of falling short, a few months ago, I was visiting a doctor's clinic. As I parked my car outside the clinic, I saw a cat. I saw a little stray cat whose head was inside a plastic jar. She was trying to come out of it, but couldn't. She was dehydrated and had lack of nutrients. I asked the nearby watchman. He said there were few kids who were playing around with the cat and they lugged her something into the jar, and after having some good laugh, they left her away. Then I was going to help her. I went closer to, to her and tried to pull her out of the jar. And I tried hard to pull her. Just a second. I went closer to her and tried to pull the cat out. The cat cooperated initially, but when I pulled too hard, the jar blocked the minor source of oxygen which she was breathing. The cat started gasping for breath and her eyes turned red. I ran into my car to find something so that I can make holes into the jar. I only found a spoon. I tried to make hole in the plastic jar, but the spoon broke. I was desperately racing against time, but after applying lot of pressure, I I made few holes, and the cat started breathing again and ran away. I was relieved. I was not going to be the woman who killed the cat. But then, as I sat in my car back, I recollected the numerous occasions where in my life, when I had opportunities and I left them at the last moment. Even though I had punctured that jar, I probably gave the cat just one day to live before she would die of dehydration and hunger. I ran behind that cat and pulled her out under the car where she was hiding. I asked someone to give me some oil so that I can pull out the jar of her neck. Somehow, I managed to get a scissor and try to cut that plastic jar, but I couldn't. By all my mighty faith, I couldn't cut that jar. And there she was gasping, she was dehydrated, and she was going to die. But finally, I saw some sand on the roadside. I still don't know how the bulb lit in my head, but I sprinkled some sand on the scissors and pressed hard as I could. And suddenly, I could hear the sound katak. And there the jar broke. The cat broke free, ran away like a bullet from the gun. That day, since I decided that I was not going to fall short, I ended up saving her life. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before he invented a light bulb. Had he stopped at the fourth attempt, you and I would have been sitting in dark. Henry Ford failed many times and then he invented a car. Otherwise, we would have been riding horses. Because of their persistent efforts, we are here and we are using the technologies. So, friends, when you try all the way. And if you feel like giving up next time, I urge you to walk one extra mile, work one extra day, stretch one extra hour. You will be amazed at what happens when you don't fall short. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Utkarsha. Now I call upon the timer to give her report.
Toastmaster David spoke for 7 minutes 2 seconds. Toastmaster Deepansh spoke for 6 minutes 7 seconds. Toastmaster Alvin spoke for 6 minutes 15 seconds. And Toastmaster Utkarsha spoke for 6 minutes 20 seconds. Over to you, Toastmaster Shri.
That means all speakers are qualified, isn't it?
Yes, all speakers are qualified.
Yeah. The polls will be launched very soon. Meanwhile, we move on to the next interesting session of the meeting, the table topics. I invite our club president, Toastmaster Dinesh, who's our table topics master for the day. Toastmaster Dinesh is doing his level 2 project 2, active listening, and will be evaluated by our general evaluator, Toastmaster Vibha. Toastmaster Dinesh says his first movie he remembers watching is Kalia with Amitabh Bachchan. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi. Good evening, everyone. Yes, my first movie was Kalia, but that is when the first VCR, you guys remember the video cassette recorder, the big tapes that you put in? I remember my dad buying me an Akai one, and that's what we fitted in. That's where I remember watching Kalia. Very obsessed with Amitabh Bachchan. Not my first crush, but very obsessed with Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, good evening, everyone. Fellow my Toastmasters and guests. Today, I, Dinesh, am your table topic master for the day. What is table topics? Well, table topics helps members to practice the art of improvisation. The polls are out, please vote. The table topics helps members to practice the art of improvisation and also helps you think on your feet, what we call impromptu speaking. This, I think, helps develop 4 vital communication skills: listening to the topic, thinking, organizing your thoughts, and speaking in a short span of time. It's a lot of fun, and it helps one develop the art of speaking impromptu. Since we at Toastmasters always encourage people to speak, this is that one session where we also allow guests to participate. And as your table topic master of the day, I'm going to encourage all the guests to please step up and try your luck out. There's nothing right, nothing wrong. You need to speak for a limited period of time to qualify for an award. I hope everyone gives this a shot. I will be calling on people, or if there are any volunteers, I'll be taking them on board. Having said that, let us start with our session. Thumbs up for everyone who's completed with the voting. Cool, so let's kick it off. Now, as we normally invite the first experienced speaker, before, sorry, my mistake. Before I kick it off, can I ask the timer to please read out the time limits for table topics?
The speaker has to speak for a minimum of 2 minutes. So I'll be showing green card at 1 minute, amber for at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Roshi. Thank you, timer. So folks, try and speak to a minimum of 1 minute. As we kick off, I'd like to call on someone at least experienced Toastmasters to show the path on how it's done. Toastmaster Vibha, can I call on you as you come to our meeting to give a shot at one of our table topics questions, although you are a GE?
I am G and I'm also evaluating you. So there is a lot of evaluation already happening. So I would refrain.
Too much of conflict. All
yeah.
Right. No
the
problem.
sheet is slitted for me.
Okay, fair enough. Excellent. All right. So let's move to our next member that I think is going to be quite assertive. I'm going to call on Toastmaster Sridevi. I know she's come in as an MC and she's been speaking, but I think we need to give the evaluators the time to get the speeches done. Toastmaster Sridevi, you're a very creative person with art. So my question to you is, can creativity be taught? Can creativity be taught? Toastmaster Sridevi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Creativity is something I believe comes by birth in a person. And I firmly believe that creativity is a quality that is instilled in a person through his genes, maybe. I have a doctor here. I'm not very sure about the medical accept how it comes, but I firmly believe that it is through by birth. It is not something that can be taught to a person. But of course, today, with the help of internet and other resources, we do have mediums to teach creativity and to develop creativity in our kids at a very young age. Like my kids have a curriculum that instills creativity in writing, creativity in drawing, and other fields. They are taught at a very young age how to write in a creative manner, like how to begin with an engaging opening and how to go about with the body and then conclude with creative closing. So these are kind of things that have come up in recent times. When we were young, there was no means of teaching creativity, but still there is some inborn traits in a person that. So I firmly believe that creativity cannot be taught. Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sridevi. I agree. I think the science is out there about, is it in the genes or is it something that we can taught? But I can tell you, I see as parents, as all pushing our children in. And this is one thing my daughter keeps telling me, Dad, creativity cannot be taught. This is my siblings, my twins. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sridevi. Let me call on our next guest. Vikash, would you be willing to take on a question, please?
Sure, Dinesh.
Excellent. keeping Toastmaster Vikas. So you're a Toastmaster Vikas?
No.
No? Okay, fair. So to be Toastmaster Vikas. What activity besides social media makes you lose track of time? What activities besides social medias makes you lose track of time, Vikas?
Okay. First of all, my opinion on social media is totally waste of time. So I avoid social media unless it is very necessary. And I believe that sports is something which always helps me to forget the clock. So whenever I start playing, like I start some of the activities over the weekend, I spend a lot of time playing cricket, I play badminton. So I forget the time. It does not matter. Is it a lunch hour or something? I can spend 2 hours. You don't feel hungry. You can continue playing for hours and you don't feel tired. Apart from this, definitely my work. I'm very passionate about my work and I really enjoy. So sometimes happens that hours together, because now WhatsApp is something which is a social media platform, but it has become a way of communication. So probably sometimes happens that I'll receive message which I haven't seen for hours together. So I normally don't touch until I feel that I have some work and I have to communicate with someone on WhatsApp. So I feel that there are a lot of other things. It depends on individual's interest, in which field an individual has interest. I feel sports and my work help me to forget the clock. With this, I can conclude my tabletop.
Thank you, Vikas. Wonderful attempt. I totally agree with you. I should put you in front of my children. Social media is a waste of time. Having said that, I do agree. Sports and many other activities can get one engaged. One can lose track all the time. I know my wife is screaming at me all the time. Dinesh, you're wasting your time. What are you doing when I'm watching the World Cup cricket? Just the other day. So thank you very much for that. Let's call on one of our next speakers. Let's call on Toastmasters Amita. She loves table topics. Where is Toastmaster Amita? There you are. Excellent, Toastmaster Amita. I'll give you a very simple one. Do you think that fashion influences psychology? Does fashion influence psychology? Toastmaster Amita.
No, that's not an easy one, Dinesh. Okay. Does fashion influence psychology? I would rather say that psychology affects the fashion, according to me, because it depends on the thought process or the upbringing in which you have come up that influences the fashion which you display. You may or may not be with the trends, and you may not be comfortable with the trend which is going on. I would rather wear something that makes me feel comfortable. And so I wouldn't say that psychology affects the fashion. I don't know what else to add on. Okay. So coming to psychology, it depends. Yes, there is a way out that we develop and change with the time. But there are the innate qualities or the inherent upbringing which affects you somehow or the other, and it does not allow you to cross your limits. It needs a lot of guts. It needs a lot of assertiveness when you need to change yourself. So this is my take on does psychology affects fashion. Thank you.
Excellent answer, Toastmaster Amita. Very good attempt at it. Yes, I do agree. I think rooted or grounded are the people who are assertive people who know they're good in what they wear rather than go with the trends or let seeing those models out there affect the way they are. And also what you mentioned, people who are with a certain upbringings, traditions, the shocking element of them for being able to take on fashion. So thank you for your views. Excellent. Thank you very much. Let's call on, oh, we don't have any more guests, I think. Toastmaster Roji. Toastmaster Roji, the lawyer in the house. Good evening, Toastmaster Roji. Is jealousy as an emotion helpful for a person or harmful? Is jealousy as an emotion helpful or harmful for a person? Toastmaster Roji.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh, for the topic. Good evening, all. Jealousy. From time immemorial, this emotion has been there, along with many other emotions. So jealousy need not be viewed as a bad emotion, because if you're jealous of seeing somebody with so many good qualities, definitely jealousy is going to work there. But what if you are jealous because somebody is going forward? Then it might work reverse. So while choosing your emotions, be conscious, be mindful of what emotions you're going to choose. Is jealousy is going to work against you? You might think that, yes, jealousy, by being jealous, you can go forward. But after all, in the bigger picture, it is controlled by some mysterious force called universe. So what is within our control? Yes, we have to use the right discernment of our mind to choose jealousy for a good cause or to choose jealousy for a bad cause. Am I harming another while being jealous? Or am I causing another to move forward? These two options are definitely going to revolve around this emotion called jealousy. Well, I'm jealous about my pet which has come into my house. I'm jealous because everybody is taking care of her. I wish that everyone could take care of me in the same way. So I don't think jealousy is a bad emotion there. But if yes, when my competitor goes forward and I watch with a jealousy eye, yes, I also need to do something and cause something harmful to her. In fact, that's not a bad thing. That's a bad thing, of course. So I would say to be jealous is in the best way manner. It's fine, but not in the right way. For that, you need to practice mindful thinking, which will go a long way. Over to you, Toast. I can't see the timer. Am I within time?
Right. Yeah, you're within the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you so much. I do like the concept of being mindful, being always conscious of trying to understand the emotion one is feeling and then reaching out to figure out, is it going to hurt the person or is it going to help me move forward in a peaceful manner? Thank you so much for that. In conjunction to your relation to the pet, I've been fostering a dog, a German Shepherd, for the last 2 months. And the reason you see my cameras go off is because she's jealous that I'm talking out here. I keep jumping up on the screen all the time. So thank you so much. I could relate to what you said. Okay, timer, are we doing good for time? Do I have an option to take on a few more speakers?
Yeah, I think you can take another.
Okay, do we have a volunteer this time? David, are you stretching or are you volunteering?
Both. My body is like kind of stretch iffy. It's definitely not. I'm interested. The questions are really fun. I want to see.
Well, you know, when you come on the spot, I need to try and figure out something on my feet. All right, okay.
Of course.
Just Mr. David. Let's ask you an ethical question. Oh, you disappeared on us. Excellent.
I'm back.
Okay. Toastmaster David. Is stealing to feed a hungry child a wrong thing to do? Is stealing to feed a hungry child a wrong thing to do? Toastmaster David.
Hearing that, I get back, my memory just goes to the play Les Miserables. and the character of Jean Valjean. So he was this French nobleman who, during the Revolution, was stripped of his title and just became a normal, regular citizen of the country. And upon the rule, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for stealing a loaf of bread to feed said daughter. And that movie, when I saw it for the first time when I was 12, I was wondering, 20 years for a loaf of bread? That's kind of harsh. But I wondered, is it really that bad? Is it seriously really that bad? I would say, depending on the circumstance, of course, but that's the political answer, and that's a very diplomatic answer. But in my personal opinion, stealing is wrong, I would say. In my personal opinion, I would say stealing is wrong because you have to understand, not only are you going to feed the hungry child for that particular moment, but you would also look at the person selling the bread or selling the item over there, or the food item, the effort they put in. I just finished a research paper on the farmers and the work they put in, and any street vendor over there who puts in the time, effort, and all that stuff, and simply that is just taken away from them just to feed someone else. I would say it's wrong. And that answer says no. So I would assume during that time, Jean Valjean stole was during the French Revolution, where no one had food to eat. He kind of deserved it. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it was my internet or your internet, but you're cracking up. But we'll both share the blame because I can see mine still saying unstable. All right, but I do agree with you. It's actually a difficult choice for people. Yeah, for ethically, morally to say yes, stealing is wrong, but at the same time having to do it. But it's a tough call for everyone. Some do it, some don't. But excellent, David. Love those responses. Toastmaster Roshni, do we have more time? You can call on Toastmaster Sumit, or are we running out of time?
I think we are running out of time.
Okay. Toastmaster Sumit, we'll leave you for the next time around. All right. With this, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for participating, and for those rest of you for applauding our generous speakers. With this, I ask the timer to please give us a timer report.
Our first speaker, Toastmaster Sridevi, spoke for 1 minute 57 seconds. Toastmaster Vikas spoke 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Amita, 1 minute 22 seconds. Toastmaster Roji, 1 minute 55 seconds. Toastmaster David, 2 minutes 9 seconds. So all are qualified.
Excellent. Well done, everyone. Give us some time for the Zoom master to put the table topics poll together. Talk about being an efficient helper on the team. Thank you very much. So with this, please do your voting, and I pass it on back to a wonderful MC today, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dinesh, for the entertaining and thought-provoking topics. Now it's time for the next session, the evaluation. Let me call upon the second evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Roji, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Deepan's speech. Toastmaster Roji is a legal professional, a passionate Toastmaster, and the VP of Pioneering Speech Weavers Club. Her first job was that of a tutor at the age of 15. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Roji.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sridevi, for that introduction. Good evening, all, once again. It is said, some wise men said, consistency is what transforms average into excellence. Hearty congratulations, Toastmaster Deepansh, for successfully completing the project or achieving the purpose and project of your speech. You took the topic of fitness, which I can see all around us. Whether you go into the street or into any mall, you can see the fitness label. But what novelty did you introduce into the theme? The very call to be consistent. Consistency is that which lags in anything you take to continue forward. So your call for consistency with a soothing reminder that you need not go to the extreme would push any person who are standing at the edge to exercise. That very reminder that you need not go to the extremes will help us go into the fitness regime. You were sanguine about your content, and the novelty of the content stood out. What I liked about your speech was the free flow of the transition, the free flow of the speech. You mentioned what is exercise, where to start from, who are the culprits of causing the dullness, all such things. The transitions into each 3 or 4 labels which you had mentioned in the speech was absolutely amazing. You had those pregnant pauses to understand, to help us the ideas sink into the audience. The second thing I liked about your speech was you had a call for action. Most of the speakers have found that they do an amazing speech, but there would not be a call for action. What is your call for action? Come, let's start somewhere. Start somewhere, which is an important reminder for any person to start something he is dreaming for or he is wishing for. You had an amazing call of action, and also the extra treats for the audience was that you had different recommendation how to do it, the diet, how to start with an app for using 7-minute app workout. You had really good treats for your audience. Now, to take your speech to a next level or a higher level, you were talking about a thing called fitness, and you had introduced your personal story as well, how you started. You said about the intensive training. Why don't you show that intensity of that intensive training, lifting the weights? If the body language was correctly used, it would have gone to a very different level. Second one, your eye contact. I always saw you looking down. Maybe your laptop is at a different angle. I think you should always look straight into the angle, just like I'm looking. I think I'm having eye contact with each one of you. So these are the 2 areas which you can always work upon. To sum up, your content stood out with novelty. You had an amazing transition, and just 2 things to work on. That is your eye contact, your body language, and you are indeed an amazing speaker. All the very best to you, Toastmaster Dipansh. Thank you. Over to you. Over to you, Ansit.
Thank you so much for the energetic evaluation, Toastmaster Roji. Now I call upon the next evaluator, Toastmaster Kazi, who is our VPPR. He is a passionate Toastmaster, and he says his first job was in India. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Kazi.
Toastmaster Sridevi, sorry to interrupt. Am I visible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay.
Toastmaster Kasi?
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. Today, my target speaker, Toastmaster Alvin, we saw has completed his speech level 1 project 3 speech, and today we saw sanguinity in his speech, and the speech was well structured, a positive opening, and there was a clear body and a closing with a message. Your speech had clear message to take away message. And there was a smooth transition between the opening to the body and then body to the closing. You explain us what is the difference between the expectation and the reality, what we expect and what was the reality. And you have explained us with 2, 3, 4 examples of your personal life, and you share 3 examples of us, and your speech was informative. You used the stage well. You had eye contact with almost each of us, and you looked at everyone, and you used the stage well. You had a great posture and eye contact. You were calm and poised. Your language was clear, and you had clear voice modulation in your speech. A few recommendations: you should have had it vocal variety in your speech. And I did not see much of facial expression. You were talking about your wife, you're talking about your job. You should have added some facial expression. Our face speaks. Our facial expression add different, much added value to our words. And which I did not see humor in a speech. If we are adding a little bit of humor, and people love laughing, and you should make people laugh. And there was one more thing which I did not see was the interaction with the audience. You can connect with the audience immediately. There will be the audience will glue to your speech when you interact with the audience. And all in all, your speech was wonderful. There was a great content, and the objective of the speech is met. Please add humor and interact with the audience. All in all, your speech was wonderful. Yes, you should always, there should be a gestures. We should use physical gestures effectively, and audience awareness. You should demonstrate that audience awareness as well. You were comfortable in your speech. You were very much comfortable on the stage. Yes, all in all, Toastmaster Alvin, all the best for you, and your speech was wonderful. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kasi. We move on to the next evaluation by Toastmaster Sumit, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Utkarsha's speech. Toastmaster Sumit is from the Kolkata Online Reverend Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Sumit says his first job was with the IBM. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Sumit.
A good love and a long sleep are two best ways to stay fantastic. Toastmaster Utkarsha, today you are going to give a humorous speech, and your speech title was Too Short. The way you started with a big crush on a boy, that makes every boy happy, because when a girl says a big crush on a boy, trust me, the humor lies on that as well. Unfortunately, I was amazed when you said that you were dumb. How can it be possible? This was a humor speech for you, and we were thinking to laugh at you. You started a good way. You started with an introduction that introduced yourself in a way that we went to look forward for a humor. We went to laugh. However, something that happened knocked behind you. Unfortunately, you got somehow swayed away with the disturbances. I understand this might be happening in between. However, when you were looking down at your script, it made me to feel awe. There was some lack of practice. When you were not connecting with the audience, I felt that I might be losing some interest. I might be losing some interest, and the audience was not getting engaged because your eye contact was not with the camera. However, your story was going good. I was looking for more humor. Then when you spoke about the cat that you saw under the car, which was inside a jar, I was thinking something would happen now. Unfortunately, it knocked my mind to see there was no humor. Unfortunately, I regret, Toastmaster Utkarsha, your project was on humorous script. When I read out the objective multiple times, I was looking what needs to be done to make it perfect. Make it perfect for you. However, we cannot do it. I request you to give this project once again, because this project was based on your humor, on a humorous story that would bring some life or some love on our faces. We might have felt some enjoyment or entertained. Yes, your story had a moral, however, a humor. some connect with the audience, and a practice without seeing the script would make the story a perfect and your speech would have gone right. However, I could not make this project fast, unfortunately, for no humor on this story. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumit, for the wonderful evaluation. I'm sure Toastmaster Utkarsha would take it in a positive manner. I pass on the stage to Toastmaster Roshni for the timer report.
Our first evaluator, Toastmaster Gautami, spoke for 3 minutes 6 seconds. Then Toastmaster Roji spoke for 3 minutes 25 seconds. Toastmaster Kazi, 2 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Sumit, 3 minutes 6 seconds. All are qualified.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshni. Now, as the polls happen, I call upon our Honorable General Evaluator, Toastmaster Vibha Talati, to present her report. Toastmaster Vibha says her first crush was in 5th standard. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Vibha.
I started pretty early, 5th standard already, Toastmaster Utkarsha. But I didn't have the courage, as you did, to go down on that knee. That person never knew about my crush. What do I say? So I'll just tell you one thing. When I call someone to our club as general evaluator, I call them to the best meeting that we have planned, or my expectations are that this is going to be the best meeting. So when this person comes, it's all just praises, and it's just like flaunting or showing off that we are so good. So I want to know, Toastmaster Amita, was that your plan too? Am I not the only clever one? You are also in a similar boat? I just have so many praises for this club, starting from, like, a baby is not born when it comes out of the mother's womb, but it's like when it is conceived, that's the starting point. So the minute Toastmaster Amita, your IPP, got in touch with me and she was like, Vibha, can you be the GE? And I said, okay, yes, let's do it, because this was the second time. And since then, it has been a smooth sailing boat, I must say. She got us, there's a WhatsApp group for all the role players. Then the president himself sending a personalized message like, welcome, Vibha, thank you for taking up the role. So all these small steps, small gestures, this is what fills up the entire picture and makes any guest or any Toastmaster guest feel welcome, feel honored, and feel that their time is going to be utilized in the best optimum way. So there was a lot of sanguinity before the meeting itself. I would like to applaud the Vice President Education, Toastmaster Sridevi, who is also doubling as the MC today. In the WhatsApp group, she was telling everyone that, share your evaluation sheets. And when there were some last minute changes, she made sure that everyone was aware about it. So the communication, we are in Toastmasters to communicate. It's not only about coming on the stage during the meeting, but what goes behind the screen, behind the stage was very smoothly done. It was utterly butterly delicious, like Amul butter, I must say. Then comes the day of the meeting. So I log in at around 6:19, which is around 11 minutes, I guess if my maths is not wrong, 11 minutes before the meeting starts. We started at 6:34. And I was expecting the Sergeant at Arms to start, but then the president, I think the president is a trickster, He puts you on the spot, and then he was like, okay, I am going to be the Sergeant at Arms today. So that was a very unexpected thing that happened, but it was done very well. I like the usage of PowerPoint presentations that were done for the Sergeant at Arms and also for the president's opening address. The tongue twister and defining and understanding or explaining how tongue twisters benefit us was very well done. I have a question, Toastmaster Dinesh, have you been standing the entire session?
Absolutely, that's my daily thing. Don't have a, yes, I have been. Don't have a chair big enough for this table that I've got here.
Ah, okay. Or
Let's
is
go for the
it
standing applause for everybody. That's
or it's an escape from your jealous pet, so she doesn't bounce on it?
absolutely, she's nibbling at my feet as we speak.
But yeah, I appreciate people standing when they are speaking. It's a sign of respect to the stage. And President, you standing throughout the meeting, I'm a little concerned about your legs, but kudos to that, showing that you really care. Standing up is a what do you say, the highest form of respect you can give. So very good for that. Toastmaster Roshni, the word master of the day. This is probably very few times that I have seen the anti-word of the day. So I assured that I didn't use the anti-word of the day. Yeah, it was very well done. And round robin, what we can do is round robin. What you did was amazing. What for next time you can do is, you tell three people, you call three people, and that's it. That's like one of the golden rules of Toastmasters, the magic of three and the power of three. Three people is enough, and then you can move on. So that was very well done. I like the anti-word of the day, the presentation. Then moving on to the speakers. So it was a speakathon. So we had 4 speakers, and the evaluators have already done their job. But I just have one thing that I would like to point out for every speaker. Toastmaster David, I like the body language. That's one thing which I took away from your speech. Toastmaster Dipansh, the content was good. The packaging, we are in this world of, it's all about the aesthetic and looks wise. So I like the content that you had in your speech. The packaging, based on the evaluation, the feedback given by your evaluator, you can come out with a better packaging next time. But I really like the content of your speech. Yeah. And also, Toastmaster Dipansh, were you standing like both the feet apart, like an Eiffel Tower, like this? Were you standing like that?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So it looked like that. You were standing like this. Okay. But so I would just like to tell you that's what it looked like. So next time when you're standing, maybe you can work on that. And one thing I would like to recommend is that when you have so much information and content, probably having a prop would enhance your speech. It divides the load on your vocal variety. For example, when I say, don't use your phone so much, use it 5 minutes every hour. So now I have taken the load away from a vocal variety and put the load on the prop. So you had you were talking about exercising. So if you had a dumbbell, or if you had something like that, it would enhance your speech content even more. Then Toastmaster Alvin, it was a very nice explanation of what expectations are, predicted outcome. We all know, we understand the word, but now we can explain it in a better way. At least I can, if you all already knew, but I can say, okay, it's a predicted outcome is expectations. Toastmaster Utkarsha, so I'm a tour guide, and I learned this very important term, which is called the IVP. IPV, immediate point of attention, viewpoint of attention, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is that I figured you are at the airport, you are going somewhere or coming from somewhere, that's what is happening. When you are in a setup where you feel that there is going to be disturbances, you establish it to the audience and say, hey people, that crush thing that I'm going to talk about, it's going to happen right now in the airport. So anyone who comes in, the policeman who came, like you had to, take off your headphones. So once you are back, you can say, this is a police person. I can't avoid talking to them, or I can't afford ignoring them. So that way you have taken us in your stride, in the journey with you. So it's not very abrupt. So when, I'm in the bus and there's a helicopter. So all my tourists are looking at the helicopter, and I am talking about Sheikh Zayed Mosque. So you put your attention towards the helicopter. So like, okay, there is a helicopter. Would you like to take a ride? Come back to me. I will take you for a helicopter ride. So that's how you get the attention to you. And then comes the table topic speaker. So I was also doubling as his evaluator. 5 speakers. This Toastmaster Dinesh, he listened to everyone. After each speech, after each speaker, he mentioned 1 or 2 lines connecting from the speaker's speech. It was very well done. How I would like to end it would be summing up everything in the sentence like, it's a tough call if it's genes or upbringing that will make you choose social media or sports. So that way you have taken all the topics and made a sentence out of it. So listening skills was good. When you were saying listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. So this would be the decorating part of it, the icing on the cake. Then comes the evaluators. Yeah, all the evaluators did a good job. I didn't write so much about the evaluators because their job was done. But definitely my congratulations to Toastmaster Sumit. It's very rare that, at least I haven't seen it, that an evaluator says, repeat this project. We evaluators, sometimes we feel, oh, are we being harsh? Are we being, rosy, or are we whitewashing it? Or we just, oh yeah, you did a good job, But you said it in a very nice, encouraging way that you recommend the speaker to redo the project. Humor is something that even I am working on, but what I've understood is that pause. I bent down on one knee. Will you be my friend? I didn't have the courage to ask, marry me. So pauses are something that works in humor. I am not sure, I have not done it, but that's what I've heard. So Toastmaster Sumit, you were very clear about that this speech didn't work, but one suggestion like this would help Toastmaster Utkarsha to help when she does it the next time, improve better. Toastmaster Roji, Toastmaster Quasi, and then who else were there? David, no, Vikas, yeah, and Sumit. Okay, so Gautami left. So these two, Toastmaster Quasi and Toastmaster Roji, you were also very encouraging to your audience. To your speaker, and Toastmaster Quasi, I could feel towards the end you became more confident about what you were saying. In the beginning, you were a little here and there, but then you became more confident. And Toastmaster Roji, based on what you have experienced, I think that's what you have passed on to your target speaker. Now, this is about so I've mentioned everything, and Toastmaster, who's the MC, I've already mentioned the club vice president, education, and the MC for the day. What I would like is that pauses, since we were talking about pause, this is a 2 hours meeting. If we could have like a 3 to 4 minutes break in between, it kind of refreshes. And science says when we are sitting in front of the screen, every 1 hour, every 60 minutes, we should have 7 minutes of break, where you can probably go for a bio break, drink water, kind of refreshes and wants you to come back for more based on what your club culture is. I know I see the red, but I'm just going to take 2 more minutes. Everything's good over here. What I want the president and the ExCom and the IPP, everyone to answer later on is, what is the club culture that you are looking to create? What is it that you want? What is going to be specific about this club? And what are the USPs of the club? Is it something, what are you aiming at? I saw the integrity, respect, and patience. I understand the patience part. But when I'm joining your club, Showstoppers, what is it? What is different that what are we doing different from the other clubs that we say that? So for the VPPR and for the VPM, that's like the selling point that, hey, there are so many clubs, but this is what you will get in our club only. So these are some things that we can work or we can talk about later on. and that will give you the edge. You all are doing an amazing job already, but now it's time to be the showstoppers of the Toastmasters world in UAE. With this, I hope I added value to your club meeting. Thank you so much for having me. And over to you, Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vibha, for the detailed evaluation. Now I hand over the stage to our President, Toastmaster Dinesh, for his closing.
Thank you so much. Can everyone put their mic on first and give a big applause for everyone for doing a wonderful job. Come on, everyone. Excellent job. It's been a wonderful meeting. Toastmaster Vibha, thank you so much for all your feedback. This was a masterclass. It's going into details to let us know exactly what is done. We have taken on a lot of your key points and will definitely work with it. Definitely, I think every club is right. You're right. Every club should. It's a value that they're going to put in for a member before why should you choose my club. So I totally agree with that. I also want to give a big applause to the whole team that actually organized the whole meeting. I think they've been, it's already been mentioned, been confusion, people have been away. So excellent job for all of them, right? Excellent job for all the table topic people. They did a wonderful job. I won't take much of your time. I want to now just be able, besides thanking everyone for giving us 2 hours of your time, it's time now for me to share with you all who the winners are. All right. So let me start sharing my screen. David, can we have the drum rolls, please?
Of course, I'm ready.
But 1 second.
Okay, I can continue.
Okay. Before we announce the winners, we have to say thank you so much. It was a wonderful month. Everybody. Okay. Now, normally we go the other way around. So I'm going to start talking about the evaluator. The votes that came in, who would it be? This is the time for the drum roll, my buddy.
Yeah, let's go. And it is.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
To be able to give a courageous, frank opinion paid off. I think the members appreciate it. Well done. Excellent job. Now we move to the best speaker. Who's it gonna be?
It is.
So the question now is, so is this a reality? Is there not award? Not Toastmaster Alvin. Well done. He's sitting actually in Toronto, there for a training session. Actually took some time off to make sure he does this thing. So time well paid off. Now the table. I think everyone was very, very good. But guess what happened?
Time.
The pause.
Let's go.
A pause like the masterclass told us. Pause. We don't have 1, but 2 winners in the table topic.
Woohoo! Let's go.
Let's see who it is. Going.
Let's do it.
Using jealousy in the right manner has paid off. Well done.
Baller.
1 more winner.
Array, let's go.
All the speakers who were in the Toastmasters are wondering, is it me? Is it me? Is it me?
It is. Toaster Guest.
Who has told us how important it is to watch sports. I'm going to use him as an excuse to say extra time away. Thank you so much. Well done, Vikas. We hope you actually joined. Is he around? Sorry, I can't see all the guests. I hope Vikas is around. A big applause to you. So,
thank you.
With this, I would like to bring our meeting to an end. But before we part, as it was a speechathon, I like to share one of the quotes that I think helps me a lot in trying to figure out how to develop it, and that is this. It's about public speaking. There are 3 things to aim at in public speaking. First, to get into your subject. Then get the subject into you. And then you work towards getting the subject into the heart of the audience. So once I've realized in public speaking, the way to get the right speech is to actually talk to the hearts of the audience, where they can relate and they can talk to. So with this, I want to thank each and every one of you. We've finished off a bit early, but it's always good to finish earlier than late. So thank you so much. We will be having our meetings every 2 weeks. Please join us. And the first week of December is also our anniversary. So we're planning something and we'll get back to each and every one of you. Thank you so much from all of us. You can stop recording now.